if you're keeping your eyes on the calendar, you've got to see it's the final day in January. The 31st is the Tuesday. Welcome everyone to Frontier People. I am boosting the Mofaidi Nigerian market. Jumped 0.9%, roughly 1% on Monday to start the week. That's the morning after Moody's released a downgrading of Nigeria's sovereign rating from B3 to CAA1, just a notch away from a junk territory, non-investment grade. That's what Nigeria's got from Moody's on the back of the fiscal and the debt problem the country faced, and all ahead of the elections and post-elections as well. The outlook, however, remains stable. So we saw Nigeria's Eurobond decline, or Eurobond market fall sharply on Monday, but the stock market was up roughly 1%. The NESE over-the-counter market also saw roughly 0.9% uptick, and Nigeria's treasuries trade very nicely in the positive territory on Monday. So that's some good news as local investors play into the market, and we see the final days of January being put behind us. The BRVM, the market in Cote d'Ivoire, the BRVM composite was better by 0.46%, contributed largely by some of the big names, including Societe Generale. SocGen shares went up about 3.3% on Monday to raise the curtain on the week. The Egyptian market was better by 1.4% at 17,026. The Nairobi securities market, however, bucked that trend across some of its peers on the continent by 0.42%, 125.54 for the all-share index, while the GSE fell along with some of the other emerging markets, globally speaking, down 0.58%. Financials index climbed slightly on Monday on the GSE, but resources and industrial index declined. The shares of Exaro, Prosos, and a few other big names were in the negative 33, but the GSE managed to hold the 80,000 level at the market close. Let's see what today brings to the table for investors down there. Let's get on to the news, by the way, and check the big headlines. In East Africa, Kenya's central bank yesterday, under Patrick Njoroge, decided to hold the country's benchmark interest rate at 8.75%, looking at inflation and trying to see the impact of the previous rate hikes back in 2022. And London-based Diageo has gotten approval to buy additional 14.9% of East African Breweries Limited, which is listed on the Nairobi Securities Exchange, as well as a few other exchanges within the East African community. And Kenya's FX reserves slumped to 88 months low, and that has impact on Kenya Airways, which is reporting a net earnings, and said that those numbers will be seriously impacted by the country's shortage of foreign reserves and that FX reserves, and that is part of the Kenya Airways still looking to see how long the airline can stay alive until when the government decides to get out of it in about a year's time. Ethiopia's Capital Market Authority, north of Kenya, is drafting new rules that will allow international foreign investment banks from abroad to participate in the local Ethiopian market. Prime Minister Abiy has been doing a whole lot within the financial markets and financial system space in Ethiopia, with a whole lot of rejigging of the rules, and that's getting a new securities exchange or securities market set up for one of the biggest and the most populous countries on the continent, and that's what Ethiopia is. Let's roll that over and look at West Africa. And I was talking about Nigeria's markets yesterday, the morning after Moody's Investor Services downgrade Nigeria's sovereign rating to CA1, just one notch above in junk status. Analysts I spoke to yesterday says this was a very negative report card of how the Buhari's administration had been managing the Nigeria's economy, and this is no good with the elections just like 3 weeks away, and Nigeria is due to be reviewed as part of the Morgan Stanley Capital International Frontier Markets MSCI FM Index on the 1st of June, the morning in which the new administration would be looking at the governing the country after the elections done in February. All that is there. The local stock market rally, as I said earlier. There's a scrambling now in Nigeria across the country. You see queues, folks looking for new Naira notes at the automated teller machines, and queues as well. Nigerians looking to buy petrol products, as well as those who are also queuing to collect their PVC, which will be used to vote on the February 25 general elections. There's been an extension to the new Naira notes for 10 days, and the PVC collection by the Independent National Electoral Commission has also been extended for another 10 days. It's all a lot of bit of a messy thing out there right now. We'll see how all things go after the elections, when we're done with the elections on the 25th. Let's see what the morning after looks like. Bank of Ghana, which is the central bank, yesterday decided to raise interest rates. Dr. Ernest Addison made a press briefing after that. 100 basis points to the north, 28% was what Bank of Ghana's interest rates, headline interest rate, looks like right now. All eyes on the deal with the IMF, with President Nana Akufo-Addo's administration. That is expected to come in place for $3 billion between now and the end of the first quarter. Ghana is yet to get the first tranche of that money from Washington. And Cameroon has a new deal for restructuring Sonara's 8.5 billion CFA franc debt, while the ITFC says it signed a new 400 million euros 2023 annual plan with Senegal to deal with this agriculture and other critical infrastructure in the West African country. Keep an eye on Senegal. Quite a whole lot's happening down there on economic front. Let's take this to Southern Africa. And last week we heard from the South Africa Reserve Bank as far as repo rate was concerned. Effective interest rate now in South Africa is about 10.75%. 25 basis points was what Leseja Karigiango and the rest of his team delivered on Friday. In the meantime, in Zimbabwe, the more listings are seen on the new Victoria Ford Exchange called the VFX. National Foods joined that list late last week and increased the number of companies listed there. However, the Central Bank of Zimbabwe has blacklisted 6 government contractors because they were dealing in the foreign exchange black market. South Africa's Sasol and Sonatrach of Morocco are looking to invest in carbon hydrogen project facility in Italy, while Zimbabwe's Revenue Authority says it posted about 2 trillion Zimbabwean dollars last year in revenue collection, and that's bigger than 2021 figure by roughly 26.4%. And Astra Foods, which is the biggest chicken products production company in South Africa, is asking the government to remove VAT on chicken products, and that's part of the appeal to the government to help sustain that industry. Okay, so let's finish up in North Africa, get a few headlines into the mix as you get today started with Commercial International Bank of Egypt getting approval to buy Mayfair Bank of Kenya. 49% is what has been approved by the Central Bank of Kenya as well as the authorities in Egypt. Tunisia's Army Assurance is reporting a turnover of fourth quarter 31.6% increase. That's quite positive, coming part of the earnings for last year. While BH Leasing also on the Morocco Stock Exchange reported 14% jump in net leasing products for 2022. That's a full year numbers, by the way. Europe is looking at Morocco and the rest of Africa as a future source of cheap, sustainable energy. And Somali's Stock Exchange yesterday held a workshop for students and small and medium enterprises. The whole idea is to increase public awareness and participation of more Somalians in the stock market or the securities market, broadly speaking, and that enlightenment workshop was well attended in the country. And that's about it for today. Quite a number of earnings are coming through from across the markets. We'll report more on this tomorrow on the show. You can watch the show again on our YouTube. Subscribe, it is free. Frontier Africa Reports, as well as our website, frontierafricareports.com. Also follow us on all the social media handles. Have a great day, everyone, and I'll see you very soon.